Hi, this is Damien from AtHope, and I'm an Axiological Atheist.
Hello, I'm Theo Maung
hold on a second.
Burma.
Hold on a second. I have a guest here today. Could you please tell us what's your name and what kind of atheist you are?
Okay.
Good.
My name is Theo Maung. I'm from Burma, and I'm sort of like I'm not an axiological or humanistic atheist. I'm some sort of like my philosophy line between somewhere. So I would not like to label myself on either of both.
Okay. So were you always an atheist, or were you raised in religion?
I'm not always an atheist. I was raised in a very religious family, but my parents were not violent or radical religious. They are like peaceful and devout religious. So I was quite lucky.
Yeah.
I used to be a very devout religious man for like 20 years of my life. Yes, I was very religious, and I used to even argue with a lot of atheists. Yes, I embraced atheism and became a gnostic atheist when I was like 21.
So what religion were you in before that?
I was in Buddhism. I was raised in Theravadian Buddhism. It is also known as one of the most orthodox Buddhist sects. And I was in a lot of mystic and occult stuff before I became an atheist.
Interesting. So your country is known for being kind of oppressive when it comes to Buddhism. In fact, didn't it have a Buddhist terrorist?
Yes, Burma, it has a lot of Buddhist conservatives, but the world mostly know them as Mabata, but it's more of like the proxy for the former military regime. They build up this association to control and make and instigate the violence in Burma to hold the power for themselves. And they recruit a lot of Buddhist conservatives under the name of patriotism and religion.
And what is it generally the religion against? Is it against other Asian religions, or is it against Islam or Christianity?
Mostly, it's again Islam, based on the Islamophobia around that is happening around the world. But lately, it is changing its target upon to Christians. They are building the pagodas and stupas in the church, in the water of the churches, and trying to start a conflict with the Christians.
Okay. Hi, so we have a guest.
Hello.
We'll give it a chance for you to talk if you would like, but let me ask the questions first. Then at the end, we'll go ahead and open it up for other people to talk.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I think he's having some sort of a connection problem. I think we should go ahead with our interview.
Right. So
some sort of working problem too.
That's fine. So you said they're going after or starting to focus on Christianity. How is that happening? What's being affected?
And how's that happening? Our recent vice president, Mr. Henry Fantio, he is a Christian, and many of the conservative Buddhist association in Burma are protesting against it because he is a Christian, and they said we should conserve our national identity and religion, and every one of the government executive branch should be Buddhist. So Basically, they want a Buddhist dominant country. They don't want multiculturalism, or they don't want secularism.
So, and they believe that Buddhism is a religion, correct? Because a lot of people in the West try to tell me.
Excuse me?
I said because some people in the West try to say that Buddhism is not a religion.
Yeah, that's why I have to argue with a lot of Westerners saying that Buddhism is not a religion. They're even trying to make Buddhism,
atheist,
a national religion.
Oh. Yeah, and other people.
And they tried that a lot, even in the past. They tried that like twice, I think.
And some people try to say that Buddhism is atheist, or Buddha was atheist.
No, he wasn't.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. According to Buddhism, time in India, where Veda and Hinduism is dominant, there are many people who refuted Veda and theism and go the other way. Buddha refuted the theism, and Mahavira refuted the theism, and there are also many other atheist school of thought known as Chavaka. They also refuted theism, but only Chavaka is an atheist, and Mahavira and Buddha, they believe in some sort of supernaturalism and spirituality, but they refuted the theistic God or deity. But in their teaching they have devas.
Yeah, the divas.
Yeah.
Spirits, supernatural spirits of God.
Spiritualism. Yeah, and the afterlife. So they might be non-theists, but they are not atheists, because atheism until naturalism and materialism.
Well, I think the reason why you would justify your atheism would definitely be some sort of naturalism. I agree.
Yeah.
Because that's one of my things of the reason why you shouldn't believe is there's not even any supernatural or spiritual anything. So to think that there's somehow a super spirituality or a supernatural seems odd when there's not even the very unsuper, the weak or nothing. There's no amount. There's not even a little amount of supernatural or spiritual anything. In that sense, this is some otherworldly something. There's nothing. So there certainly isn't a super nothing, and a super nothing with a mind, and a super nothing with ultimate power. It's like, it just sounds more ridiculous the more you keep talking about it.
Oh yeah. Your lamp has turned on. Oh, no. It's not a lamp. Sorry.
What?
The lamp on your bag is turning.
Oh, the light?
Rotating. Yeah. It's not a lamp. My mistake. It's like some sort of air conditioner or fan.
Oh, fan.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, fan. You mean in the behind me?
Yeah. On your left side.
Yeah. So, when you decided to be an atheist, what made you decide to leave Buddhism and spiritualism and become an atheist?
It started from the argument I made with atheists, and on Facebook with a post, I mocked atheists. And then, some minutes later, I started to attract many atheists, and I started fighting with them. And I won, eventually, at that argument. But, there is something left on my mind to think about. For all that time, I defend those. Well, and I even argue with the atheists. Sometimes I even warn and I mock them back with my argument. But am I right? I'm starting to think that, am I right? I'm starting to, to rationalize my own thoughts that I've been defending for my whole life. And the more I attempt to, scrutinize my own belief, the more I became an atheist, it took me only like 5 or 6 months to be a complete atheist at that time.
Right. It's pretty good though. You got it. You said you got it at 21.
Yeah.
I didn't get it till I was 36. Yeah, a long time. Because I went to college and started hearing facts and had to write papers on religion and stuff, and that was it for me. So, you said your parents were religious, correct?
Yeah.
And how did they take it when you decided to not be religious or be atheist?
Very surprisingly, my mom's since she's a woman and a devout, I thought my mom would be shocked at first, but she's pretty cool with it. She's like, never mind. And my dad is also a very religious man, but he's also cool with it. Sometimes that makes me very surprised, not because they were surprised, the shock, but they're being very cool with me being atheist.
That's cool.
Not many people is as lucky as I do. Many people get kicked out of their house.
Yes. Yeah, many people get a lot of, or like in some places it was like, wasn't there some guy in, I can't remember where it was now, he just got hacked to death?
Yeah.
Indonesia? Bangladesh, yeah. Yeah, so some people get attacked for it. So, were they also Buddhists, or what's their religion?
My parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents are also Buddhist. Theravadian Buddhist.
And so when you left Buddhist as an atheist, in other words, not believe, did that mean you also don't practice Buddhism? Just wondering.
It's quite obvious. But there is but I accept what is rational and practical from Buddhism, like some sort of teaching about from Abhidhamma, like the teaching about conscious and conscious, and it's not no matter if it is Buddhism or Christianity or paganism, if it is practical, rational, and has proof, I will accept it. Yes, there are some things in the Buddhism, I think that are quite rational, so I accept some teachings and concept, but I do not accept the fundamental teachings, concept, and doctrines of Buddhism anymore. I'm not a Buddhist.
Okay, could you tell me or tell people what the fundamental beliefs that you don't believe in?
It has to start with one of the noble truths is life is suffering. To me, it's quite nihilistic. I don't see life as pleasure. I don't see life as suffering. I see life as the total emptiness on absolute level. The terms of being of pleasure or suffering only exists on the relativity. Yeah, I saw life as meaningless and empty void. So I don't really think life is a suffering. And I don't really think we need to practice or try hard to get out of this. Because when we die, there is no afterlife, and
right.
we will automatically be released from that.
Right.
So, this is the biggest thing I reject.
And wasn't Buddha married, or am I wrong on that? And he left his wife and kid or something like that? Is that true? I can't remember.
He left his wife, Sasodhara Devi, on the night of his childbirth. Rahu. On the night Rahu was born, he left his wife and a child, and he go into how should I say, seclusion, to the forest to find the truth.
Right, so I thought so. I sometimes I've read so many mythologies, it's hard for me to remember. Because that's what I've been doing, working on my book about the Tree of Lies and its hidden roots, is actually going back to the whole evolution of religion. But it struck me that people praise a person who basically abandons his wife and child to seek his own betterment, and then says that person is enlightened. Any person who will leave their child and their wife, or a lover or spouse, that they care about, that's not enlightened. That's not love. To say, at least to me, that seemed like.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest argument with Buddhists and non-Buddhists. But Buddhists reply that he didn't leave his wife and child in poverty. They were left in a palace with a lot of luxury and a lot of other things, and being suffering in a pleasure. It's not that this thing in the whole life of samsara, according to Buddhism. And so some Buddhists said he left his wife and child for the better attainment. And they said when he attained the enlightenment, he came back and he taught them, he preached them. So yeah, many Buddhists said that he left them temporarily for the better achievement.
So he didn't leave them forever.
No. When he attained the enlightenment, he made the 10 years old kid. I don't think he's 10 years old. He's a child. Rahul, the vice monk, and Sasodhara Devi attained the enlightenment by his preaching.
Right. The other thing I was going to ask too, I'm going to put in my book. Wasn't he from the one horse tribe up in? It's actually from Iran. He was a prince or something like that, right? But the tribe was a horse tribe, where they were like real warriors and stuff, and they are powerful. But they're from Iran, the northern part over there, isn't it? Like, so it's likely who it was. Have you heard about that?
Oh, you mean Buddha?
Yeah, Buddha, Garma, whatever.
I don't think Buddha is from Iranian descent, but he's definitely an Aryan. But I don't think he's from Iranian descent, no.
Because I was thinking that because the northern part of like Pakistan and India is a lot of Iranians, because they came from over there. That's why they're a lot different color skin and everything, like you said, Aryan.
No.
But yeah, so I was going to ask you too. So there's a big difference, isn't there, between the types of Buddhism? Is there any Buddhism, do you believe, that doesn't have the spiritual or supernatural?
One of my favorite Buddhist sects is Zen Buddhism.
Yeah.
Even though Zen Buddhism accepts the scriptures of Mahayana teaching, Mahayana sect, they don't care about the afterlife, or they don't care about the supernatural at all. The only thing they emphasize is the presence, the present life. Even though they accept the fact that they don't care about the supernatural afterlife, yada stuff. So if I have to say and choose for myself, I would say comparatively, Zen Buddhism is one of the most rational sects in Buddhist sects. And there are some sects called...
Doesn't Zen, though, believe in Pure Land Buddhism? Pure Land?
Yeah, Pure Land is...
afterlife.
One of the...
right?
No, it has nothing to do with Pure Land sect. There is also a Buddhist sect called Buddhist Atheist sect. They accept the teaching of the Buddha and Abhidharma, but they do not accept any spiritual and supernatural thing. Sometimes they don't even accept the some aspect of the some shatra or sutta. They don't accept what Buddha taught about the earth and the length of the earth, and they don't accept them. Only thing they accept is the provable Abhidharma teaching with evidence. That's Buddhist atheism.
Yeah. What do you think about the Dalai Lama?
Dalai Lama, he's a really cool guy. Once he even said one when science and Buddhism contradict, Buddhism will have to change. He's very secular. He's very pro multicultural, and he's very cool with women and LGBT person. Even though I do not accept this belief, I really like him. I really accept him for what he believes. It's really peaceful.
Yeah. But he did before, in the past, say that he did not support homosexuality for monks. Did that? What do you think of that?
Yeah. There might be some things that have to do with conservatism.
Right.
When it comes to when they did research, many Tibetan and people around that area see homosexuality as an immoral act. Since Dalai Lama is from that area, he might see that he was raised in a program in that area, so he might see homosexuality is immoral. But since you roam around the Western world, Western country, and speak with a lot of different people from a lot of community, I think his opinion changed on LGBT community.
Yeah, so there's Buddhist sects too, that don't believe a female can be enlightened or become a Buddha. Is that correct?
Mostly, I think it's every sect of Buddhism. According to Buddhism, there are 5 kinds of Buddha. One of the Buddha we commonly know is called Samyutta Buddha. What is Siddhartha contempt itself. Women can be 5 things according to Buddhism. Yes, women can attain enlightenment, but they can be preaching Buddha. If I have to call the Buddha, which is one which is inferior to the Samyutta Buddha, and women can be herself Samyutta Buddha according to Buddhism. You have to attain a male body to
right, male body, right?
Kind of enlightenment.
Right, you have to get a male body. Correct? Yeah. I think I wrote about that before, about sexism in Buddhism. So,
yeah.
Did you read that?
I read that in your. Yeah. It's a very long article. I didn't think it would be that long. Yeah, a very long article, but
well, one of the reasons is I would make it shorter, but I'll say something like, I'll just make a comment: Buddhism is a religion and has some supernatural beliefs. And everybody, no, it's not. It's not a religion. It's a philosophy. And they'll say, no, it's atheistic, and no, it doesn't have any supernatural beliefs. I'm like, all those things are wrong. So yeah. So that's why a lot of times those articles end up becoming longer, is because I gotta keep proving and proving and improving.
Yeah.
It would be easier if I could just say one thing, but the problem is, people don't usually believe me unless I show them, like, hammer them over the head with, a nuclear bomb. So yeah. I know that's why people feel like I'm not against Buddhism. I'm just against people calling it something it's not. And so I've had to become almost like at war with Buddhism, and I really don't care. I'm more at war really with Christianity and with Islam than I would be with Buddhism. But how people say about it makes me passionate to show them they're wrong.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, it's even like, so like recently I wrote something about Satanism. I don't really care about Satanism, but someone made a point and said I have to accept it, and it's a totally reasonable thing, and So I mean.
Oh, by Satanism you mean Anti-LaVey?
Yeah, LaVey Satanism. Well, first off, Anti-LaVey is not the only kind of Satanism. There is spiritual Satanism that has mystical stuff. There's LaVey Satanism. That's like I read the LaVey Satanism website. It says the Satanists are all atheists. No, that's not true. Even LaVey admitted there was some people that believed in magic and stuff and believed in the possibility of some stuff. He didn't like it. He told people not to do it. But people do that kind of stuff anyways. So, I mean, his Satanism is atheistic, but even the people that follow him could still believe in magical stuff. I'm not saying that's all that he taught that, or everyone, but even he was irritated because. But to me, whenever you kind of like make things kind of mystical, people like that. People like magic. If people didn't like making up stuff, we wouldn't be doing it for at least, you just think, people painted in a cave 40,000, whatever, almost years ago in France. No one was paying them to do all that work. That wasn't producing food. You know what I'm saying? By drawing on the wall. Yeah. And sometimes they went a mile into a cave to do it, and they had to climb up, 15-foot ledge, drop down 15 feet, and, crawl on their back almost to get to. So they put a lot of effort, almost 40,000 years ago, to make stories. And we still do that today, to me. We're still making stories. So even like I've heard a lot of people say, well, how Buddhism was originally, it was just a philosophy, it became a religion. Yeah, they all do. The one thing you know about religion? They always change. They always adapt. They always become new sects and stuff. Just like Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism will stay one thing. No, it'll come a whole bunch of 3-4 different sects of Zen, and then they'll big sects. And the same thing happened with Christianity. Back in the 1800s, there's like 4,000 something sects or denominations. Now there's
today, it's like 20,000 sects of Christianity.
No, it's anywhere from 35 to 40,000, 42,000. It's a lot.
Oh.
But they always go, but some of those are just little denominations of the main sect. It's like, it doesn't matter. Why would you need denominations of the main sect if they have the truth? And of course, if someone had the truth of the Bible, why is there so many sects anyways? The whole thing is a problem. But
I used to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I used to, say to my friend, the main reason why, science doesn't have any denomination or sect? Because it has evidence.
That's right, so exactly.
There is no denomination or sect.
Exactly. There's no branching off. There's no need to, because what they do is just change. If a new idea comes, the consensus is, the evidence is there, it's reliably tested, you just change. You adapt, move on. It grows. It constantly grows healthy. But like I said, really, all religion does that too. No religion has ever stayed pure. None, zero, none, ever. Not any. They always branch. They always become little things. And if they haven't yet, they will, because they always do. The whole history of, that's what my book's about, the evolution of religion. These are human ideas, and they grew out of something, and they just keep adapting. It's just a fact. But we like stories. That's the problem. We like stories, but it's not that stories are bad. It's not even mythology is bad. We like learning philosophy can sometimes be stories. It's not that inherently that's a bad thing. Or like I said, 40,000 years ago, painting on cave walls. Art's a great thing. Music. Think of all the imaginative things that we've done that don't need religion, but have been given over to religion. Art. How many buildings? How many beautiful buildings? You know the most beautiful buildings in the world? It's probably religion. You know what I'm saying? It's what we've wasted all these natural human resources and acting like it's magical. And we can do all that wonderful stuff and enjoy wonder and do music and do art and do, creative things and really fulfill and enjoy life, and we don't need religion at all.
Yeah.
But, I'm an anti-religionist, so of course I would romanticize the non-religion.
Yeah, me too, but according to my point of view, the only thing practically the only thing we'll be able to achieve is the situation in Scandinavia country right now. Christianity still exists in Scandinavia country,
yes,
but people are not serious about it.
Right.
That is the most practical, reasonable goal that if we have to achieve. If you totally want religion to be abolished, you have to practice like communists.
Yeah.
They abolished religion totally, like they did in Russia. Russia is
Yeah, but
very
but
country now anyway.
yeah, exactly. They still have orthodoxy Christianity. They never wiped it out. Yeah, religion, you can't wipe out religion. People have to choose. Because even if you try to wipe it out, unless you kill absolutely everyone, you know, it's which is not even impossible now. I mean, imagine if you wanted to kill all Christians or all, you know, Islam, or imagine if someone even tried to get rid of all atheists. The point of even any of them, they keep growing.
You know, in Dark Ages, Spanish Inquisition killed a lot of atheists.
Yes, they did.
But we never going extinct. We grew again.
Well, exactly.
So it just goes for theists.
But even if we could eradicate by killing people, I wouldn't do that. I respect human life too much. Well, I'm just saying I respect human life too much. That's not a. I don't see that as a. We should be enlightening people, but I also feel like, you know, people, to me in general, own themselves. I acknowledge this. They have the right to their own body, which includes their own mind. So as long as people just keep, you know, they say this is what I believe and I feel, I don't attack them. If they say something is wrong and they say it as I have to believe it, I usually am more aggressive on attacking that. But I try to stay to the what they're saying, not the person.
Yeah.
So I know that you're also involved in atheism in Burma. Is that a dangerous thing? Because I know people do get attacked in South Asia, like in Bangladesh.
Burma is religiously very intolerant country, and there are many religious conservatives. But yes, atheists are oppressed, and you know our belief in ideas are challenged on a daily basis. But no, we're not on life threat. No, there are no atheists get killed because of they believe in atheism. Then yes, we are intolerant, but not that intolerant.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I just know because haven't they killed some Muslims before the past, like in 2011 or something like that?
Some riots that happened some years ago in Metila and many other several towns in Burma. But it is most likely to be the proxy act of the government, instigated by Makwada, the anti-Muslim, the right-wing fascist group, and it has nothing to do with civilians.
Okay. Yeah, I saw pictures. I have pictures on my thing about the ones of the military Buddhists with the orange what do you call that? Bulletproof vest.
Saffron robes.
Yeah. So I know you have a group there. So how many atheists do you have in your group?
Actually, according to my list, we have over 30,000 of people who is interested in our groups and join and talk and chat with us. But
hold on, you said you have how many? 30,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Members in my group. We have like 30,000 members. But in real life, the number of people that we meet and we connect and we like do stuff it's really it's very few. We have only like 15 to 20 people. But there are you can understand a situation. We live in a very intolerant country with many religious conservative people. So many atheists are trying to stay in closets.
Right. They probably just say I'm a Buddhist, right?
Yeah, they have themselves as Buddhists, and sometimes they describe themselves not religious. Yes.
Right. That's good. They're not being too oppressed though. But yeah, I really think that it's interesting that you have ones that are there in your country, and they you guys meet like for dinner and stuff, and have meetups.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes we hang out and we meet, and we convey some meetings and do this stuff.
Do you ever do debates with religious people, your group?
Yeah, we usually do some debates, but on on a social network. But I've never done a debate in real life outside.
Would
but
you
really
think?
Want to do one. I had a very intense but very civilized debate with a Muslim. That debate lasts for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And it's long comments.
Yeah, that would be kind of different if you could do a debate there in Burma.
Yeah, that would be quite a different situation, but I don't think we don't have too much of a problem if my debate opponent is Buddhist, unless there are non-Buddhist, unless there are Buddhists, we wouldn't have much problem with them. But if we challenge Buddhism publicly and openly, like in real life debate, we might encounter some problems.
The problems like what would happen, or what could happen? Do you think?
Like we could get threat and hate mails, and even worse, like blasphemy law still exists in Burma. We could get incarcerated or in prison. Like, since the government has changed, I don't think we will be in prison for blasphemy. But still, the law still hasn't revoked, so we should be cautious about that.
Yeah, I think all countries should be secular. I think that having blasphemy laws, I mean, it's like saying, like a little kid, I don't like what you say. Oh, well, you're not going to like what a whole bunch of people say in the world. Wake up. I mean,
Yeah.
Your life is not going to be spent with everybody agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny when people have such a problem. I mean, I say I get angry sometimes when I debate, but that's just an emotional problem. That's not I don't mind disagreement. I don't think that a person who's a rational person should be offended by disagreement.
Yeah.
Because they're going to happen. I mean, unless you have a delusion that the whole world is going to constantly, cater to your thinking.
Yeah.
Although in that saying, I do think that we should try to treat each other civil and equal as humans. So, I mean, that should be just as much as possible. I mean, nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
but I think it's really, good to try to care about people equally as much as possible. That's why I always tell people, I really, I don't want to, try to make an atheist government. I want secular. Everyone has a right. I just don't want yours or mine or making laws so other people can have not have rights.
Yeah.
Because it seems like even like you're saying in your country with the blasphemy laws, religion likes saying other people can't do things.
Yeah. Oh, I think we have a company here.
Yeah. Somebody looked like they came on.
Yeah.
So you also I know you're a singer. You're in a band or something. Can you tell us about that?
I tell what?
I said, can you tell us about that? Tell us about your band.
Yeah. Hello.
I said,
Sorry,
go ahead and tell us about your band.
Oh yeah. So I decided to before I joined into that band, I'm singing like some cover songs, and one day I told my friend, hey, you want to join with form a band with me? He said like sure, but where are the other members? We still don't have other members, but we'll recruit them later. But sometimes time goes on, and we collect some friends, and we try to write songs on our own from now. But we still don't even have the name for the band yet.
Oh,
so
you
we
don't?
are in a very early phase.
Wow.
We're starting from the scratch.
So, and what kind of music is it?
It will sound like it's heavy metal. It will sound like some bands like Metal Church, and some of the early heavy metal like I'm sorry, I'm not proposing like Deep Purple.
Oh, okay.
It's like that.
That's cool. So, are you gonna sing it in English or in Burmese, or some other language?
Mostly in English.
So you're hoping to get it promoted in over in America?
Yes. We would like to distribute music internationally, if possible.
Yeah.
But today it's very impossible.
Well, especially with the internet.
Yeah, especially with the internet.
I mean, look, we're talking. I agree. So, so your plans for your group? What is your goals for your group in the future?
Yes, that is one of the questions that I have to answer for most of the time with interviews. What is my goal? My goal is to develop a secular community along with the rationalism and humanism. I want people to love each other, be rational, and to have some sort of secular thought.
Right.
Yes, that's my goal. I don't want state atheism like what communists did.
Right.
I don't want to rob on what people believe in. I don't want to abolish the pagodas or churches. Yes, you can believe in whatever you want, but at least be rational and be secular.
Right.
Yes, that's my goal.
That's a good goal. So, is that what the main people in the group want to do also? And do you think that involves doing stuff actively in politics, or are you going to do it behind the scenes?
Politically, I don't think we got that as much chance in promoting the secularism. But the new government, NLT, is quite I think it kind of promote multiculturalism and secularism. They deleted the Buddha teaching in front of the newspaper, and they assigned the Christian as the vice president, and we still have many other Muslims and many other people and working together in the community. So I think we have NLT is trying to build a very secular and multicultural community.
Well, that's good. I think that rationality and humanism does that. Can definitely make people care more. That's why I think it's more important to teach that to me than really about just doing religion. I think that it's important to show people there's not gods in religion, but I think it's also important to make sure that they just think, because we don't want to be like you said, forcing atheism on people as if it's a religion itself or something. I mean, that's just nonsense. So, do you have any questions for me?
Do I have any question for you? Yeah, some sort of when did you became an atheist?
I became an atheist.
Yes, I want to.
I became an atheist when I became an atheist when I was 36. That's when I became an atheist. And I originally was a Christian, and I basically became an atheist in college. I didn't actually ever even heard of an atheist or even know anything about it. Never had any atheist friends. So but when I went to college, I wanted to be a drug and alcohol counselor because I've been clean and sober, and they told me that, well, you need to, it would be good for you to take classes on religion. So I took a class on the world religions, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize how many of them are so close to the same. Especially, they all say they have the one true path. They understand the afterlife, and only their afterlife is true, and their ways of navigating the afterlife positively, you need to follow them, and they have the only morality, and they have I started going, this is like all the same stuff. I mean, not exactly, but I mean, it's a human idea in general, and then they just changing some of the pieces. It's like a board game is the same, but they're just adding new players.
Yeah.
I started going, wow. And then I took a class on the Bible itself, and that's when I became an atheist. Halfway through the class, learning stuff about archaeology, learning stuff about Noah's flood, relating to, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and he started this. I couldn't believe anymore. I mean, and then especially when I really became atheist is when it got to the thing and it said that Satan, Lucifer, the devil, and the serpent were all different things in the Bible. They weren't ever one being. And especially in Genesis 3, the serpent, the beginning, thing of where it starts talking about supposedly the devil, because Paul says that's what it is. But it says that the serpent was the most crafty of the creatures created in the garden. But then it's not a fallen angel. It's not a devil. It's just another animal, is what the Bible is saying. So right there, I was like, but they say that's Satan, and it's not Satan. So I was done. And also, I thought, okay, let's just say it was Satan. I started thinking, for the first time in my life, I started questioning my own religion. I started thinking, okay, so if this Satan tempts man and woman, it also says that he lost his legs and couldn't speak anymore and had to slither on the ground, on his belly, and he said he would bite man's feet. And I was thinking, I thought Satan is in hell. How did Satan lose his legs and his voice? Right? I mean, something's wrong here. And then if that snakes are Satan and they're powerless, then how are we having the devil affecting us, supposedly tempting us with things and waiting to send us to hell or whatever? How do you have this powerless thing and then you're supposed to have this most powerful secondary being? It just started sounding like, man, I never thought about it. It doesn't even go together. I mean, the story doesn't make sense. Because when Adam and Eve ate the tree, God punished the snake. But then that's not Satan. I was thinking too, but was there only one snake that could talk? Or so were all snakes punished? I started thinking about this, right? Were there other serpents? You mean all serpents lost the ability to speak and couldn't walk no more? Right? The problem is you start adding reason in there, and then all of a sudden everything starts to, wait a minute. This stuff I've been believing before is just absolute nonsense. And the more you critically thinking, the more it starts to sound like nonsense. You're like, what? Because you think, okay, well, if it was, let's just say there was only one snake, so no other snakes were punished for this one snake's behavior. Because otherwise that's what happened. All snakes lost the ability to talk once one tempted the humans. But let's just say there's only one. Okay, so there's only one, and then it loses its ability to talk and walk. Doesn't even matter. How did it mate? So God made Satan a little female Satan? Right? How did snakes? I mean, they should have gone extinct back in the Bible. Should have, 6,000 years ago, no more snakes. I mean, right? It doesn't. So you have to explain this. If you go through every story, it just starts sounding more and more ridiculous. And I was just done. I realized I'm not going to believe things without evidence, and I'm going to be willing to change with new evidence. I can't use faith. Faith is just, to me, nonsense. It's not worth believing in.
And another question will be that if you have to raise a child, or if you adopt a child, let's say, a Christian child or a Muslim child, how will you raise that child?
How would
teach him, if you have to adopt a child, like 6 or 7 years old, the child might be a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or a Buddhist. Will you teach? Will you make him or her lose religion and be an atheist? Or you will raise that child in the religion that he is preaching?
I think that there's to me basically like a few different ways that a person could, if they're an atheist, raise a child. How I personally would do it is I personally would raise them atheistically. In other words, I would just tell them what the truth is. I would allow them to believe what they want because, to me, people own themselves, including children. They own their own body. They own their own mind. I wouldn't force them to not be whatever they want to be. I would just tell them, well, this is why I don't agree, and this is what I believe. I wouldn't. Like some people believe in raising children secularly. In other words, teach them all the religions and let them choose themselves. Well, I wouldn't do that with science. I wouldn't go, okay, for me personally, though. Other atheists do, I'm not putting them down if they do that just for me. It doesn't make sense. It would be like me saying, okay, here's evolution. I'm going to teach you creation. Go ahead and choose whatever you want. I don't want to have any influence on you. That sounds like nonsense. Or like saying, here's philosophy and the Socratic method, and here's understanding, epistemology, and here's faith. Go ahead and choose either method. I don't want to influence you. Really? You're not going to do that? I feel that, to me personally, for who I am, that would seem like I'm doing something wrong. I should teach the truth as best as I know it and be willing to tell them, you should be willing to challenge me. Any, to me, idea that fears being challenged is probably a lie that's just fearing exposure. Because the truth likes to be told.
And when you raise a child, and if she or she actually, will you send that child to church or mosque weekly?
Oh, so you're saying if the child wanted to go to church?
Yeah,
the child owns himself. I would support. I would support what they want to do. I feel that to an extent. I mean, depending on what they want to do exactly, but I mean, if they wanted to harm others, I'm against that. But I think that parents should allow children to have beliefs. I mean, whatever they want, you should inform them, but I don't think you should tell them. It would be like to me, how I see it, when you ask, would I support a child with religion? Okay, to me, I don't like football. I can't stand watching sports. I can maybe understand. I don't like doing them either, but I can understand playing sports as opposed to watching them. Watching someone else play sports, to me, is like watching someone else play video games.
Yeah.
I don't understand. For me personally, I don't. It doesn't do anything. I can't stand it. But if the child wanted to go to a football game, I would take it because I love the child. I would not. So if a child wanted me to go to a mosque with them and it was my child, I would probably go with them. If they wanted to go to a Buddhist temple or be a Christian, I would probably go. I wouldn't go all the time, and if anyone asked me, I would definitely tell them I don't like it, and if they, challenge me, I would be willing to explain my beliefs and my disbeliefs in religion. But I really feel it's important for the parent to, support the child. Now, like my mom is a Christian, and most of my family is. If they ask me to go to church, I will tell them no. I have no obligation to my parents as adults, but a child, when you're raising them, I think you should be supporting them. You're not supporting their belief. You're supporting the child.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that's real important to me. And I think that really should be, like you said about secularism, I really feel that in general, even a religious parent should do that. I mean, whatever you believe, the child is a separate person. And if you feel that you have freedom of religion, you should feel that freedom of religion extends to the child's freedom to choose to not have the religion or to do a different one.
Yes.
So, but I mean, I don't go for people that force atheism. When I say atheist parent, I just mean I would just tell what I believe. I wouldn't try to teach them religion. If they asked, they certainly would, but yeah, I wouldn't. But I would tell them the way I would teach someone about facts about Mesopotamian religion. I would just say these are the facts. I don't agree with them. And when they talk about, the goddess Ishtar or something, I what's that?
No. Go on.
No, I'm saying, so, I would, if I told you right now about, the god Murdoch, in Babylon, I wouldn't tell you as in, like, I wouldn't sit there and try to debunk it. I would just say, well, they believed in Murdoch, and they did that from, I think it was from the Ammonites or something. Anyways, it really doesn't matter. I would just teach it like it's historical information. That not as fact as the belief was historical, but historically people did believe this.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's a big difference. Like, some people will say, well, this one thing, is, you're saying is a fact. No, I'm saying, that's like, if we find a statue of a god or goddess somewhere, that doesn't make them real, but the statue is real.
Yeah.
And I don't have the opinion of like those Islamists that were blowing up the Buddha statues. I wouldn't do that. I feel like that's historical stuff. I would not do that, and I wouldn't stop someone from wanting to build a new thing. I mean, what does it matter? People have the right to build things I don't like.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the thing too. I do think we should always be careful of caring about people and not trying to offend them. In other words, like, I don't think we should be calling people names endlessly, or I think we should, I know some stuff, is done in like joking and stuff. I don't have a problem with that, but I think when we really try to hurt other people, I think that's the issue that matters more. It's really our behavior, and I really strive to try to, as much as possible, attack thinking and not people, because
that's what I said to my fellow atheists. In making people offensive, let's be clear that we're not attacking the people themselves personally, but we should have the right to challenge the ideas and other ideology made us believe for since thousands of years ago. But we should not attack or slanderize them as persons.
Yeah.
It's like the slogan: "People have rights, ideas have no rights."
Right. Well, ideas aren't people. They're not beings. They don't experience stuff. They can't be hurt. They don't have a dignity to violate. So I think that's an important thing to remember, is that people act like, and this is to me, how weird it is with political, especially in America. I don't know how much it is, in other places like Burma, but in America, we can say almost anything about a political figure. I mean, we could make a piece of crap and then put their name on it, and publicly, and they can't do nothing. And very few people would think that behavior is bad. But if you took a holy figure and you put crap on it, people would be way outraged, especially if it's Jesus. And it's funny how it's the same idea in a sense, but even one is almost a person, and they have no problem as long as it's a political thing. But when it's a religious thing, people get very offended. Sometimes that makes me want to do stuff to their religious figures to make them offended. Not because to actually make them, like, I want to hurt someone, but it's because I want to fight this idea that people have the right to not be offended by life. Life, it's like you can't walk around and expect every single buddy to coddle to everything that you think. I mean, they should, dignity and worth is as a person, as a human being, but your ideas? I mean, especially if your ideas, like if you have a conspiracy theory, we shouldn't protect that idea of a conspiracy theory, and from all challenge and all ridicule. I mean, some ideas, like people say the Earth is flat. They deserve some ridicule because that's a ridiculous idea. It's absolutely ridiculous. Or like I saw this one video, someone said the moon is a hologram. It's just, it's like, oh. I mean, those ideas, when but then again, see, people actually can look at that. Like even a Christian go, yeah, that's crazy. Oh wow, moon's a hologram. Yeah, and you believe in a talking snake and a talking donkey, and a man that rose from the dead and walked on water. You think that's not as equally as ridiculous and outside the bounds?
Yeah.
It's like that also is not scientific and outside the bounds of reality. And then they go, oh well, all that's. Or like 900-year-old Adam and Eve. It's like what?
Sometimes that's how exactly if we want to as religions when two people from a different religion, argue one another. It's like discussing on scientific, mine is scientific. Sometimes I was like, how could you be arguing that your religion is scientific? No, both of you are just pretending to be scientific.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're scientific at everything except the things your religion claims. That those things you're willing to accept, no matter how ridiculous. It's pretty awful. Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch any part of that thing where I did the talk and debate that I sent? I think I sent you.
Well, no. The links you sent me in a private chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read some of those, but I see many of those are linked to the pages and groups. But I read most of your contents on your timeline.
That's cool.
So where are your debate chat?
Where am I? What now?
Where were your debate records? Do you have any video records or written records of your debates?
Yeah, I have.
Any?
Yeah, I have a video that I just recently did with an apologist group in England.
Christian apologists. Yes, I remember.
Yes, six of them. Yeah, and one was like a philosopher and an archaeologist, and what was the other one? A biologist. Anyways, but it was so crazy that one person told me, I said about slavery, and I said, what about selling your daughter into slavery in the Bible? The father can sell his daughter. Oh well, that's not bad. He's poor. What does that have to do with it? How does he own her body? It's not ethical. It's another person. You don't get to sell another person. It's like, and he wanted to go ahead and say that was something that was ethical, and that's what I'm saying. Religion, that you want the religion to be 100% true. So anything ridiculous it says, you have to either say it wasn't really there, or like you said, Zen Buddhism, you don't really agree with it, even though I agree with the religion, just not any part of it. I mean, if you have to deny your religion to believe in it, to me, it's almost not worth believing in. If you have to say, hey, most of it is not true, but I still believe in it. If it's not true, why believe in it? I mean, seriously, why? What?
Religion is like a package deal. If you can, like cherry pick the
exactly. And accept that,
at least it's a package deal.
I agree. So what do you think about Taoism? Someone recently tried to tell me Taoism is not a religion.
Taoism is basically is a pantheism. But nowadays Taoism is like it's nothing more than a polytheism. It has many deities on life and death and other realms. But the original Taoism started as a pure pantheism with like with no deities and other stuff, but only like philosophy, and most of them are known the founder of the Taoism as Lao Tzu. In Chinese, Lao Tzu teachers like the old generations of teachers like preach that the pantheistic teachings, but later on it got I think Taoism is very corrupted with the polytheistic belief with deities.
Right. And what about Confucianism? Do you have that in Burma?
Is yeah. No, we don't have a Confucianism in Burma, but we have some people who believe in it. It's really a minority. Confucius is really secular. I don't think it's even called a religion because it doesn't include any supernatural afterlife or like miracles or any other thing. He just taught the moralities and ethics. And people believe that doctrine and follow him, and they build up a statue and they venerate him with how do they call the stick?
Incense.
Yeah. Incense, candles, and and many other offerings. Venerate him, but he's neither a prophet or God. He's just teachers of morality and ethics. If some people say Confucianism is not a religion, I might agree to them, but I can't see why people added them to a religion. Is it because it has a dogma or canon scriptures? I don't know.
Right. Well, that's interesting. So do you want to promote your group? You don't have your band name yet. How about tell us what the name of your atheist group is?
It's YMAA, Young Men's Atheist Association.
All right. And you have it on Facebook?
Yes, but I don't promote it internationally because most of the posts we post are in Burmese, so many people won't understand it. So I just don't promote it locally. I just don't promote it internationally. But I have the idea to promote the page with English language for international purpose. But I just don't have time to manage that.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to do this whole talk in half Burmese and half English. That'd have been so it would appeal to some of the people where you're at too. Do most of the people in Burma speak English, or no?
Many of the people in Burma can read and write English, but most of them have and not most many Burmese have poor command in English. They might be able to read and write, but they don't have that much practice and command in English. So we have some sort of a language barrier. Unlike India, they have very good. Indians are very good in English and stuff.
Right. So do you on your blog do you translate some atheist authors that are not from Burma and then put them on your page?
Oh yes, there is a very thing I want to answer. Yes, I'm trying to translate a book. It's called the Very Short Introduction to Atheism. I think the author is wait a minute. Julian Baggini, a British author and a philosopher. I'm trying to translate that book and publish in a hard copy.
No, that's cool. Well, I meant like memes. Like, do you share memes? I mean, do you share memes that from other atheists and then translate them? Because I've seen that happen.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Sometimes I share memes from Republican Jesus, Atheist Jesus, and others like some sort of groups and pages like Atheist Republics and other science pages. I copy them, but I give them credit.
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying you're not giving them credit. I was just saying, do you do that so that other people, in Burma can read it?
Yeah. I do that a lot.
That's cool. Because I think that it's good to when they translate. I've had my memes translated in different languages. But I think it's good because there's a lot of ideas. I think that's what the internet allows you to have is to have multiple ideas. That's also why I seek out other ideas, and I want to have, voices, minority voices in the atheist community be heard. In other words, it doesn't mean that people besides white and English, are atheists. It's just that those are the ones that are promoted the most to me. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world that are atheists.
Yeah.
A lot of people from all over the place. And so I really want to, hear from more people, because I think it really helps us. I mean, because we say that we want secular, we can't just say we want the Christians or the Muslims or the Buddhists or to be secular. We need to be secular. We need to be, a welcoming community and multicultural. We can't just ask everybody else. I think it's upon us to also do the same.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciated you coming on and talking with you. Is there any other last things?
I'm really thankful for your interview.
Thank you. And is there anything else that you want to just tell us, or you want to ask?
No.
All right. Well, it was a great talking to you, and
Okay.
we'll end it, and I will post it as soon as